Hello, everyone. My name is Laura Darling. I'm the Vice President of Communications for Covia, and I wanted to welcome Chris Echian, who is our Vice President of Life Plan Operations. He's here today to talk to us a little bit about how Covia is managing and supplying our communities with personal protective equipment, PPE, something we've been hearing about a lot on the news. So to start, Chris, could you tell us a little bit about what is PPE in the context of senior living?
Right. So thanks for having me, Laura. PPE is very important to what Covia is going through. And really the main areas in which our communities need PPE is regarding gloves, masks, gowns, and face shields. And when I say masks, there's different types of masks out there, but we're really focused on the surgical mask and also the respirator mask, the N95s, KN95s, and FFP2s. So those are the predominantly main areas of PPE that our communities use on a day-to-day basis.
And how well supplied are we at the moment with those kinds of equipment?
Well, that is the golden question, to see how well supplied we are. We are, as every week goes by, we are in a better situation than we were before. We've heard loud and clear for our communities that they needed us and support services to help with that need of ordering supplies. And so right now, if things don't change, our communities, I feel, are about 3 to 4 months of supplies that they should be okay with at the current pace.
Previously, how did we acquire PPE, and how has that changed with this COVID-19 crisis?
Well, really, each community in Covia orders their own PPE. A lot of communities have a designated person in some of the levels of care that do order and track the supplies they have on hand to care for the residents and protect our team members. So that's traditionally how it's done. It's been done locally. But as I just mentioned, when this all happened, PPE shortage was everywhere. And our local contacts of our communities either A, could not provide enough quantity supplies that they needed, or there was a minimum order where there was just too much for one community to take on at one time. So that's really when support services jumped in and said, hey, how can we help with that? And so part of my role now and others on our team have been focused on trying to figure out ways that we could obtain more PPE from different various vendors throughout the nation.
All right. And so are there any specific vendors that we've been using, and how have we found good vendors for our supplies?
Well, it's an interesting question because at this point in time, we are completely open to working with anyone. Our traditional vendors weren't able to produce the amount that we needed, or not just the amount, but the time frame to be able to receive those. It could be 4 to 6 weeks in some situations, which we just don't have that much time to wait in some of our communities. So it has changed, and we were open to working with anyone at any time during the day whenever their business hours are open. So there's not a one size fits all, and we're getting suggestions left and right for all the different vendors out there that can help us with our supplies.
Well, that's great. And what should people know about how Covia has been handling acquiring PPE, distributing PPE, and making sure that our communities have the supplies that they need?
Well, we're fortunate that, one of our communities, it's currently has been closed, Los Gatos Meadows. We've designated as the hub, our warehouse, our distribution center for Covia's supplies. So they're all going to there as much as we can. They're being distributed from there to all the communities. And really what we do is we just rely on the communities to tell us what their need is. And it's changing. For instance, this week, we're focused on trying to find not PPE, but disinfectant wipes and hand sanitizer gel, because that's what the communities say they're struggling with, trying to find an appropriate vendor to support us with that. So we listen to communities, and as their communities change their needs, we will change our efforts to support them.
All right. Thank you so much, Chris. And anything else that you want to add before we end for today?
Nope. I just think I'm proud to work for this organization that does such great things for our residents and our team members. They're both valued tremendously across the board. And I just want to thank or just give a shout out to all of Team Covia for doing the great things they do every day.
I
Thanks.
totally agree. Thank you so much, Chris.
Thank you.